Welcome to United Daily Updates, your most trusted source for Manchester United news. Hello everyone and welcome back to United Daily Updates, the best place on the internet for everything Manchester United. If you have not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do that right now because we bring you the latest news, honest analysis, injury updates, and everything else you need to know about the Red Devils every single day. We work incredibly hard to be your most reliable and trusted source for all things Manchester United. We never spread fake rumors or sensational headlines just for clicks. We give you real information and genuine opinions that you can count on. Now let's get into today's important story about Manchester United's injury situation heading into a crucial match. Introduction. Can United finally beat the bottom team? Imagine being a Manchester United fan right now. Your team has been inconsistent all season. You have dropped points at home to teams you should be beating easily. Your manager is under pressure. The fans are frustrated. And now you have a match against the team that is dead last in the Premier League table. The team that has not won a single league game all season. The team that has only taken 2 points from all their matches. This should be the easiest game of the season. This should be 3 points in the bag without question. This should be the perfect opportunity to build some confidence, get some goals, and put smiles back on faces at Old Trafford. But if you are a Manchester United fan, you know that nothing is guaranteed anymore. You know that United have a habit of making easy games difficult. You know that even against the worst team in the league, you cannot relax and assume victory. On Monday night, Manchester United travelled to Molineux to face Wolverhampton Wanderers. Wolves are in a terrible situation. They are bottom of the table. They have won 0 games this season. They have taken just 2 points from all their matches. By any measure, they are the worst team in the Premier League right now. And United absolutely must beat them. There are no excuses. No acceptable reasons for dropping points. This is a must-win game. But before we can assess United's chances in this crucial match, we need to understand the injury situation for both teams. Who is available? Who is missing? Who might be coming back? Injuries can make or break a team's chances in any match, and they will play a big role in determining what happens at Molineux on Monday night. According to the latest injury news and reports, Manchester United are hopeful they will have a star player back from injury for this trip. At the same time, Wolves are expected to be without 5 players after suffering a fresh injury blow. This gives us a clear picture of which team is in better shape physically heading into this match. In this detailed blog post, we are going to break down the entire injury situation for both Manchester United and Wolverhampton Wanderers. We will look at who is definitely out, who is doubtful, and who should be available for selection. We will discuss what these injuries mean for each team's chances. We will examine whether United have any excuses if they fail to win this match. And we will think about what this game means for Ruben Amorim's future as Manchester United manager. This is a match that United simply cannot afford to lose or even draw. The pressure is on. The expectations are clear. And the injury news will play a role in determining whether United can finally do what they are supposed to do and beat a team they should be beating comfortably. So let's dive deep into every detail of the injury situation and what it means for Monday night. Understanding where both teams are right now. Before we get into the specific injury details, we need to understand the current situations of both Manchester United and Wolverhampton Wanderers. Where are they in the table? What has their season been like? This context helps us appreciate why this match is so important. Manchester United's season of inconsistency. Manchester United are currently in a frustrating position. They are not at the bottom of the table like Wolves. They are not in a relegation battle. But they are also nowhere near where they should be or where they want to be. The season so far has been defined by one word: inconsistency. As we have discussed in previous blog posts, United have had some good results. They beat Liverpool away at Anfield, which is always a tough place to go. They beat Crystal Palace away. These are impressive victories that show United have quality and can compete with good teams when they play well. But then United turn around and drop points at home to teams they should be beating. They lost at Old Trafford to Everton. They drew at home to West Ham after being 1-0 up and in control. These are results that are simply not acceptable for a club of Manchester United's size and ambition. This inconsistency is killing United's season. They cannot build any momentum because just when things seem to be improving, they mess up again. They cannot climb the table properly because they keep dropping silly points. And they cannot give the fans confidence because nobody knows which version of United will show up on any given day. The recent draw with West Ham has created even more pressure. According to reports, United were booed off the pitch by their own fans after that match. When your home supporters are booing you, you know things are bad. The fans are frustrated and losing patience. They expect better and they are not getting it. This means the pressure is now on Ruben Amorim to deliver results. His job security is being questioned. There are reports linking other managers like Xavi to the United job. Every match now feels like it could be crucial for Amorim's future. He needs wins and he needs them now. Wolves' season of disaster. If Manchester United fans think their season has been disappointing, they should look at Wolverhampton Wanderers and realise it could be so much worse. Wolves are having an absolute disaster of a season. They are bottom of the Premier League table and their situation looks desperate. The report tells us that Wolves have taken just 2 points all season. Think about that for a moment. We are in December. We have played a significant chunk of the season. And Wolves have only managed to get 2 points. That means 1 draw and 1 draw, or potentially 2 draws. Either way, it is an incredibly poor return. Even more damning is the fact that Wolves are the only side without a league win in the current campaign. Every other team in the Premier League has won at least 1 match. But Wolves have not managed a single victory. They have lost most of their games and drawn a couple. That is relegation form. That is the kind of record that gets managers sacked and teams relegated. When you are bottom of the table without a win, confidence must be rock bottom. Players start doubting themselves. The manager is under enormous pressure. Every match feels like a must-win, but you have forgotten how to win. It becomes a negative spiral that is very difficult to break out of. For Wolves, Monday night against Manchester United represents a slim chance to get something. Yes, United are a much bigger club with better players. But United have been inconsistent and Wolves are at home. Maybe, just maybe, Wolves can catch United on an off day and get a result that gives them hope. Why this match matters so much? Given where both teams are, this match is absolutely huge for different reasons. For Manchester United, this is a chance to beat the bottom team and get 3 points that should be straightforward. Anything less than victory would be embarrassing and would increase the pressure on Amorim dramatically. For Wolves, this is a chance to potentially get their first win of the season. If they can somehow beat United or even get a draw, it would be a massive boost to their survival chances. It would show they can compete. It would give them belief. And it would pile even more misery on United. The fact that United are playing the team at the very bottom of the table means there are absolutely no excuses for not winning. You cannot blame injuries if you cannot beat a team that has not won all season. You cannot blame bad luck or referee decisions. You cannot blame the opposition being too good. Wolves are struggling and United must take advantage. This is the kind of match that defines seasons. If United win comfortably, they can build some momentum and move forward positively. If they struggle or fail to win, the crisis deepens and questions about the manager and players intensify. There is no middle ground here. United must win. The Manchester United injury situation. Now let's look specifically at Manchester United's injury situation heading into this crucial match against Wolves. Who is out? Who is doubtful? Who should be available? Understanding this helps us assess how strong United's team can be. Matthijs de Ligt expected back. One of the most important pieces of news is about Matthijs de Ligt, the Dutch international defender. De Ligt missed the West Ham match in midweek due to a small injury. This was concerning at the time because De Ligt has been an important player for United when fit. But the good news is that according to the injury report, De Ligt is expected to be back for the trip to face Wolves on Monday night. This is a significant boost for United. De Ligt is a quality centre-back with lots of experience. Having him available strengthens the defence considerably. The report describes the injury as small, which suggests it was never anything too serious. It was probably just a minor knock or muscle issue that meant it was not worth risking him against West Ham. But with a few days of rest and treatment, he should be fine to play at Wolves. This is exactly the kind of news United need. Getting an important player back from injury for a crucial match gives the team and the manager more options. Amorim can pick his preferred defensive setup rather than having to use makeshift solutions or inexperienced players. De Ligt returning also means that Aiden Heaven, who struggled badly when given a chance against West Ham, can go back to being a backup option rather than being thrust into important matches. This is better for everyone involved. United get a better defender and Heaven does not have to deal with pressure he is not ready for. Diogo Dalot should be fit. Another important player who had a fitness concern is Diogo Dalot. The Portuguese defender suffered a knock against West Ham in the midweek match. Any time a player suffers a knock during a game, there is worry about whether they will be fit for the next match. However, the report says it is not believed to be a serious issue and Dalot should be fit to start at Molineux. This is more good news for United. Dalot has been one of United's better and more consistent performers this season. He even scored the goal against West Ham before United threw away the lead. Dalot is versatile and can play on either side of the defense. He is reliable and rarely makes major mistakes. He contributes going forward as well as defending. Having him available gives Amorim flexibility in how he sets up the team. The fact that his knock is not considered serious suggests it was just a minor impact injury that caused some temporary discomfort but has not done any lasting damage. With treatment and rest, he should be absolutely fine to play a full 90 minutes at Wolves. United cannot afford to be without players like Dalot in a match like this. They need their best and most reliable players on the pitch to make sure they get the 3 points. Dalot being fit is crucial to that objective. Harry Maguire still out. One player who will definitely not be available for the Wolves match is Harry Maguire. The English centre-back is currently sidelined due to a thigh injury. Thigh injuries can be tricky because they often take longer to heal properly than you initially expect. According to the report, Maguire is not expected to be back for the trip to face Wolves. However, there is some positive news in that he could be back later this month. The report mentions he might be available for the match against Bournemouth on December 15th. Missing Maguire is not ideal, but it is manageable for United, especially if De Ligt is fit as expected. Maguire has been in and out of the team this season anyway. He is not an automatic starter under Amorim. So while having him available would give the manager more options, his absence does not cripple the team. The important thing is that Maguire is apparently on track to return soon. If he can be back for the Bournemouth match, that means United will have more depth in defence for the busy Christmas period when fixtures come thick and fast. Depth is crucial in that period because you need to rotate players to keep everyone fresh. For the Wolves match specifically, United should have enough quality in defence even without Maguire. With De Ligt expected back and Dalot fit, United can put out a strong defensive unit that should be more than capable of handling Wolves' attack. Benjamin Sesko long-term injury. Wait, who is Benjamin Sesko and why is he listed in Manchester United's injury report? This is actually quite interesting and might be new information for some fans. Sesko is apparently a United player who is currently out with a knee injury. The report says Sesko is still out due to a knee injury he picked up last month. Knee injuries are always concerning because they can be serious and take a long time to heal properly. The report mentions there is no indication of when he might return to training, but he is due back at some stage this month, possibly in time for the match against Aston Villa on December 21st. For fans who follow the transfer market closely, Benjamin Sesko is a highly rated young striker who plays for RB Leipzig in Germany. If United have signed him or are listing him in their injury reports, this would be significant news. However, we need to be careful here because this might be an error in the report or it might be referring to a different player entirely. What is clear is that whoever this player is, they are not going to be available for the Wolves match. They are dealing with a knee injury and will not return until later in December at the earliest. So this absence does not affect team selection for Monday night. Overall United injury picture. When we look at the overall injury situation for Manchester United, it is actually not too bad heading into the Wolves match. Yes, they have a couple of players out. But the key players who missed the West Ham game should be back. This means Amorim can pick close to his strongest team. Having De Ligt and Dalot both available is huge. These are important, experienced players who make United significantly better when they play. The fact that both suffered knocks but should be fit for Wolves is a relief. Maguire being out is not ideal, but it is manageable given that United have other centre-back options. And the mystery around Sesko aside, there do not appear to be any other major injury concerns that would prevent United from fielding a strong team. This means that if United fail to beat Wolves, injuries cannot be used as an excuse. They will have most of their best players available. They will have experienced quality throughout the team. If they cannot beat the bottom team with this squad, the problems are about more than just injuries. The Wolves' injury situation. Now let's turn our attention to Wolverhampton Wanderers and their injury situation. The report mentions that Wolves are expected to be without 5 players after a fresh injury blow. This is significant because missing 5 players at once can really hurt a team's chances, especially a team that is already struggling. 5 players expected to miss out. The headline from the Wolves injury news is that they are expected to be without 5 players for the Manchester United match. 5 absences is a lot for any team to deal with. It limits the manager's options significantly. It means players have to play out of position or less experienced players get opportunities they might not be ready for. Unfortunately, the report we have does not give us the specific names of these 5 players or details about their injuries. This is frustrating because knowing which positions are affected would help us understand how weakened Wolves will be. Are they missing defenders? Midfielders? Attackers? We do not have that information. What we do know is that there has been a fresh injury blow. This means that in addition to players who were already injured, someone else has picked up an injury recently. This is the worst kind of news for a team that is already struggling. When you are bottom of the table, the last thing you need is more players getting injured. Fresh injuries often happen because players are tired, overworked, or confidence is low. When you are losing most of your games, training can become harder because morale is low. Players might be more prone to injuries because they are not in the right mental state. It becomes another part of the negative cycle that struggling teams get trapped in. What this means for Wolves' chances. Having 5 players out significantly reduces Wolves' chances of getting anything from the Manchester United match. They were already massive underdogs given that they have not won a game all season and United are a much bigger club with better players. But missing 5 players makes the task even harder. The Wolves manager will have to make do with whatever players are available. This might mean playing people in positions they are not comfortable in. It might mean using young players from the academy who are not experienced enough for this level. It might mean asking players to play more minutes than is ideal because there are no alternatives on the bench. All of this makes it more likely that United will win. When your opponent is injury hit and struggling, you should be taking advantage. United have absolutely no excuse for not beating a Wolves team that is bottom of the table and missing 5 players. It should be a comfortable victory. However, injured teams can sometimes perform above expectations because the players who are available know they have to step up. There can be a siege mentality where everyone fights for each other because they know they are up against it. So United cannot be complacent. They still need to play well and take their chances. The impact on Wolves' formation and tactics. Missing 5 players will also affect how Wolves can set up tactically. The manager might have to change his preferred formation because he does not have the players available for certain positions. He might have to adjust his game plan because key players are missing. For example, if Wolves are missing attacking players, they might have to be more defensive and just try to survive rather than trying to attack United. If they are missing defenders, they might try to outscore United rather than keeping it tight at the back. The specific injuries matter enormously. From a Manchester United perspective, this should make the match easier to manage. Amorim can set up his team knowing that Wolves are weakened. He can be more aggressive in his approach. He can tell his players to attack with confidence knowing the opposition is depleted. This is the kind of advantage that top teams should exploit ruthlessly. When your opponent is injury hit and struggling, you show no mercy. You take the game to them. You score as many goals as possible. You make sure there is no doubt about the result. United need to have this mentality at Wolves. What United must do at Molineux. Given the injury situations of both teams and the positions they are in, what does Manchester United need to do to win at Molineux on Monday night? Let's break down the approach United should take. Start fast and aggressive. The worst thing Manchester United could do is start slowly and allow Wolves to settle into the game. Even though Wolves are bottom of the table and missing 5 players, they are still professional footballers who can cause problems if you give them confidence. United need to come out aggressively from the first whistle. They need to press high and win the ball back quickly. They need to attack with pace and purpose. They need to create chances early and ideally score an early goal. If United can score in the first 15 or 20 minutes, the game is essentially over because Wolves do not have the quality or confidence to come back. Starting fast also sends a message. It tells Wolves that United mean business. It tells the United players themselves that they are here to dominate and win comfortably. It sets the tone for the entire match. And it gives the travelling United fans something to cheer about after the disappointment of the West Ham draw. Ruben Amorim needs to make sure his team is mentally ready for this. No complacency. No assuming that just because Wolves are bottom of the table they will roll over. No half-hearted effort. United need to be fully focused and committed from minute 1. Take every chance. One of United's problems this season has been wastefulness in front of goal. They create chances but they do not always take them. Against a team like Wolves who are struggling defensively, United should be creating lots of chances. But they need to actually convert those chances into goals. If United get a one-on-one with the goalkeeper, they must score. If they get a free header from 6 yards, they must score. If they get a clear shooting opportunity, they must at least hit the target. Being clinical in front of goal is crucial against any opponent but especially important against weaker teams. Missing chances against Wolves would be unforgivable. This is not Liverpool or Manchester City where you might only get a couple of opportunities all match. Against bottom-of-the-table Wolves who are missing 5 players, United should be creating chance after chance. If they cannot convert these chances, serious questions need to be asked. The forwards and attacking midfielders need to be hungry for goals. After the frustration of recent results, they should be desperate to get on the scoresheet and boost their confidence. This is the perfect opportunity to score goals and rebuild some belief in the attacking unit. Do not sit back. One of the most frustrating aspects of recent Manchester United performances has been the tendency to sit back and defend leads instead of going for more goals. This happened against West Ham and it cost United 2 points. It absolutely cannot happen again at Wolves. Even if United score early and go 1-0 up, they must keep attacking. They should be looking to make it 2-0, then 3-0, then 4-0. They should be ruthless and show no mercy to a struggling team. This is what Manchester City do. This is what Liverpool do. They destroy teams who are weaker than them. Sitting back and trying to defend a one-goal lead is dangerous against anyone. It invites pressure. It gives the opposition hope. And it often leads to conceding late equalizers. United have learned this lesson the hard way multiple times this season. They cannot afford to make the same mistake again. Ruben Amorim needs to trust his attacking players to keep scoring rather than trusting his defenders to keep clean sheets by sitting deep. The mentality should be to attack, attack, attack until the game is completely won and there is no possibility of the opposition getting back into it. Use substitutes wisely. Given that United have been criticised for making poor substitutions recently, Amorim needs to be smarter about when and how he makes changes at Wolves. If United are winning comfortably, by all means make substitutions to rest key players. But those substitutions should not completely change the team's approach. For example, if United are 2 or 3-0 up with 30 minutes to go, Amorim can take off some of his star players and give opportunities to squad players. This makes sense to manage workload. But he should not take off all his attackers and bring on all defensive players. Maintain some attacking threat even when making changes. Amorim also needs to read the game properly. If United are only 1-0 up, do not start making defensive changes that kill the team's momentum. Keep attacking until the game is safe. Only then should you think about game management and resting players. The West Ham match should have taught Amorim a valuable lesson about substitutions. Hopefully he has learned from that mistake and will make better decisions at Wolves. His substitution choices could be crucial in determining whether United win comfortably or make it difficult for themselves. The bigger picture and pressure on Amorim. This match against Wolves is about more than just 3 points. It is about Ruben Amorim's future as Manchester United manager. The pressure is building and he needs results to ease that pressure. A must-win match. Let's be absolutely clear about this. Manchester United must win at Wolves. There is no other acceptable result. Drawing would be bad. Losing would be catastrophic. Only a victory will do, and ideally a comfortable victory with multiple goals. Why is it so simple? Because Wolves are bottom of the table without a win all season and are missing 5 players through injury. These are the exact circumstances where a big club should be winning easily. If United cannot beat Wolves in this situation, it raises fundamental questions about the quality of the squad and the capability of the manager. There are no excuses available if United fail to win. They cannot blame injuries because most of their key players are fit. They cannot blame the opposition being too good because Wolves are the worst team in the league. They cannot blame bad luck or referee decisions. If United do not win, it is because they are simply not good enough. Amorim knows this. He knows that failing to beat Wolves would be a disaster for his job security. The reports about potential replacement managers like Xavi would intensify. The fans would become even more frustrated. The pressure would become unbearable. He must deliver a win. What happens if United fail? Let's think about the worst-case scenario. What if Manchester United go to Wolves and fail to win? What if they draw or even lose to the bottom team? What would be the consequences? First, the criticism would be brutal and deserved. The media would tear United apart. How can one of the biggest clubs in world football fail to beat a team that has not won all season? Pundits would be queuing up to criticize Amorim's tactics, the players' attitudes, and the club's direction. Second, Amorim's job would be in serious jeopardy. While the report says he is not expected to lose his job anytime soon, that assessment was made before this match. If United failed to beat Wolves, all bets are off. The pressure would become so intense that Ineros might feel they have no choice but to make a change. Third, United's season would effectively be over in terms of achieving anything significant. They are already struggling to make the top 4. If they cannot beat Wolves, what chance do they have of beating other teams? The confidence would be shattered. The belief would be gone. It would be very difficult to recover from such a low point. Fourth, the players would face enormous criticism and questions about their commitment and quality. If world-class or supposedly world-class players cannot beat a terrible team, maybe they are not actually that good. Maybe the whole squad needs an overhaul. These are the kinds of conversations that would dominate what success looks like. On the flip side, let's imagine United go to Wolves and win comfortably. Let's say they score 3 or 4 goals, dominate the match from start to finish, and produce the kind of performance everyone expects. What would be the benefits? First, it would ease the pressure on Amorim, at least temporarily. A convincing win shows that his methods can work when the players execute them properly. It gives him breathing room and buys him more time to continue his work. Second, it would boost confidence throughout the squad. Players would remember what it feels like to win comfortably. They would score goals and get that positive feeling that comes from success. This confidence could carry over into subsequent matches. Third, it would give the fans some happiness and relief. United supporters are desperate for something to cheer about. A good win against Wolves would not solve all the problems, but it would at least provide a brief moment of positivity. Fourth, it would give United momentum going into the busy Christmas period. A win at Wolves followed by victories in the next few matches could turn the whole season around. Sometimes all it takes is a run of good results to change everything. The reality check. However, we need to have a reality check here. Beating Wolves, even convincingly, does not mean all United's problems are solved. Wolves are the worst team in the league. Beating them is what United should be doing anyway. It is the bare minimum expectation, not some great achievement. If United beat Wolves 3-0 or 4-0, Amorim and the players should not be celebrated as heroes. They will have done their job, nothing more. The real tests come against better teams. Can United beat the teams in the top half of the table consistently? Can they beat their rivals for Champions League places? These are the matches that will determine whether this season is a success or failure. But you have to start somewhere. You have to build confidence and momentum. And you do that by beating the teams you should beat. Wolves is that opportunity. United need to take it. They need to show they can handle this kind of pressure match where there are no excuses for failure. What this match means for the season. Looking at the broader picture, the Wolves match has implications beyond just 3 points in the table. It could define how the rest of Manchester United's season unfolds. The top 4 race. Manchester United's realistic goal for this season is finishing in the top 4 and qualifying for the Champions League. They are currently not in the top 4. They need to start winning consistently to climb the table and get into those qualification spots. Every match now is crucial in that race. Dropping points against teams like Wolves means you have to make up those points somewhere else. And making up points against top teams is much harder than beating struggling teams. So United cannot afford to drop points at Wolves if they want to finish in the top 4. The teams United are competing with for those top 4 spots will all be watching this match. If United fail to beat Wolves, those rivals will be delighted because it means United are unlikely to be serious competition for Champions League qualification. But if United win convincingly, it sends a message that they are still in the fight. Building momentum. As mentioned earlier, sometimes all it takes is a run of good results to completely change a season. United need to start building momentum. They need to string together wins. They need to create positive energy around the club. Beating Wolves can be the start of that momentum. Then if they can beat the next opponent, and then the one after that, suddenly you have a winning streak going. Players start believing. Fans start believing. The whole atmosphere changes. But it all starts with this Wolves match. If United cannot win here, they cannot build anything. The momentum stays negative. The doubts continue. And the season continues to drift towards mediocrity. The January window. The January transfer window is approaching fast. Manchester United will be considering whether to sign new players to strengthen the squad. But their activity in January might depend partly on how results go over the next few weeks. If United are winning matches and climbing the table, they might feel they only need 1 or 2 additions to push for top 4. But if they are struggling and dropping points to teams like Wolves, they might feel they need major surgery with multiple signings. From a player recruitment perspective, United are more attractive to potential signings if they are performing well. Good players want to join clubs that are doing well and competing for things. If United are in crisis mode after failing to beat Wolves, it becomes harder to convince top players to join. So while the Wolves match might seem like just another game, it actually has implications for January transfer planning and whether United can strengthen the squad effectively in the winter window. Conclusion. No excuses for Manchester United. We have covered an enormous amount of ground in this blog post about the injury situations for both Manchester United and Wolverhampton Wanderers ahead of their crucial Monday night match. We have looked at who is out, who is fit, what it means for both teams, and why this match is so important. The bottom line is crystal clear. Manchester United have absolutely no excuses for not winning this match. They will have most of their best players fit and available. They are facing a team that is bottom of the league without a win all season. That team is also missing 5 players through injury. Everything is set up for United to win comfortably. If United cannot beat Wolves in these circumstances, serious questions must be asked. About the manager and his tactics. About the players and their quality. About the club's direction and planning. Failure to beat the worst team in the league when they are injury hit would be one of the lowest points of a season that has already had too many low points. But if United do win, and win convincingly as they should, it provides an opportunity to build some momentum and confidence. It gives Ruben Amorim some breathing room. It makes the fans a bit happier. And it keeps United in the race for top 4. Monday night at Molineux is a massive match for Manchester United. The injury news tells us both teams will have important players missing, but United are in much better shape overall. Now they just need to go out and do the business on the pitch. No excuses. No disappointing. Just a professional, convincing victory that shows United can do what they are supposed to do. Final thoughts and outro. Thank you so much for reading this comprehensive analysis of the injury situations and what they mean for Manchester United versus Wolves on Monday night. I hope you found this blog post informative and helpful in understanding what to expect from this crucial match. If you enjoyed this content, please make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel United Daily Updates. We bring you injury news, team news, match previews, post-match analysis, and everything else you need to know about Manchester United every single day. We work hard to provide detailed information that helps you understand what is happening with your club. Please hit that like button if you found this blog post valuable. Turn on notifications so you never miss our latest updates. And share this with other Manchester United fans who want to stay informed about team news and injuries. I would love to hear your thoughts on this Wolves match. Are you confident United will win comfortably? Or are you nervous that United might mess it up again? What do you think the score will be? And how important is this match for Ruben Amorim's future? Leave your comments and let's have a discussion. Make sure you check back after the match for our full analysis of what happened at Molineux. We will break down the performance, discuss the tactics, evaluate individual players, and think about what the result means going forward. Until next time, stay loyal to the Red Devils, keep demanding the high standards that Manchester United should have, and let's hope for a convincing victory on Monday night that shows this team can finally beat a team they should be beating. Come on, United!